there's a hack called a data breach hack that a lot of people are not aware of, that you can actually have all the closed negative accounts currently on your credit report, and even some open revolving credit accounts that are in the negative right now. You can have all that stuff removed and more if you understand this one secret hack. So in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what the hack is, how to do it step by step, and how you can actually have negative things pulled off your credit report forever in the next 7 days or less. So let's get into it. So every single one of us has had some kind of data breach. I don't know how many times you've received a piece of mail or an email over the course of the last couple of years or so that have said that one or another company has been part of a data breach and your information was compromised. Well, believe it or not, a lot of people don't know that they can actually use that data breach, which has happened probably numerous times in the last several years for you. And you can use that to chisel off negative things on your personal credit report. So first and foremost, you're probably thinking, okay, well, how does this work, Monica? Like, just because my data was breached doesn't mean that anything negative happened to me. Well, how do you know that? Because people out there on the dark web have your information. Some of them have your passwords. Some of them have your social security number, your date of birth, all of those different pieces of information that you don't ever know whether they're going to start using it or not. So, for example, several years ago, Equifax had a major data breach, and a lot of people's information, including my own, got compromised. And this is why I believe in services like LifeLock, where any and all times that any kind of credit is opened up, or any and all times there is information about me on the dark web, the system will notify me through their app through a force notification on my phone. So I always know what's going on when it comes to my personal information and credit. So you're going to want to do the same thing as well, because the higher your FICO score goes, the more valuable your credit becomes to people who want to hack your information. So, number one, you need to pull all three credit reports and all three FICO scores. I recommend the service at Experian.com. You get $39.99, a one-time fee to pull all three credit reports and all three FICO scores. So then that way you have an idea of all the negatives that you're going to be disputing based on this information. Number two, you need to freeze all three credit reports. You need to freeze Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You need to freeze your credit profiles immediately if you've not done so already. This is super important. Now, people always ask me, well, Monica, when can I unfreeze my credit? The only time you're unfreezing your credit is temporarily when you are applying for credit. So, for example, say you're sitting at a car dealership, you're about to buy a car, and they're about to run your credit. Well, they want you to unfreeze one of the bureaus at least. So while you're doing the application process, just say, which credit reporting bureau do you pull from? And most of them will say Experian. So on your phone, you'll actually have an app from Experian where you can freeze and unfreeze your credit report at will. And you can let them process the application, and then you can lock it back up again. So if it's a Friday or Saturday or probably a Sunday, you're going to probably have to leave that credit profile open until Monday or Tuesday of the following week. With TransUnion and Equifax, you have to go online. They don't have an app anymore. I know TransUnion got rid of their app a while back. So you have to go online and you just basically Google unfreeze TransUnion or unfreeze Equifax, and you'll basically get directly to the link to unfreeze, and they'll give you a block of time. So for example, if you're applying for your car today, you would freeze it from or unfreeze it from today through, say, 2 or 3 days from now. So there'll be a window, a good enough window for them to be able to formally process your application. But then you keep it frozen the rest of the time. Like, you don't just leave it out there. Like, it's almost like equivalent to you leaving your front door of your house unlocked, okay? So when people ask me, when can I unfreeze my credit? My question to you would be, when do you want to leave your house open and unlocked 24/7? You tell me what day that's going to be, and then I'll tell you which day you should unfreeze your credit profiles. So if the answer is, well, I wouldn't leave my front door open, or I wouldn't leave my front door locked, it's like, yeah, well, then why are you leaving your credit profile open for any Tom, Dick, or Harry to rip it off? I don't get that. So leave it frozen unless you need it. And then you could temporarily lift the freeze. Now, once you freeze your credit, The next step is really important, and this is going to be the part that a lot of people might be apprehensive about, but it's completely necessary. And the cool thing is it's really easy in today's day and age to do this. So the next step is going to be for you to file a police report stating that there has been a data breach and that your information has been compromised. So then that way, you now have a police report in addition to you freezing your credit reports. So now that you have proof that you actually are compromised at this point by basically, and you don't have to have any of those emails to show proof. Every single one of us has been compromised, but a lot of us do still have those emails. And so if you have an email available, that's even better, but they're not going to ask you for this because a lot of times you could file police reports online. So when you file a police report online, they're not going to allow for uploaded documentation in many cases. Some will, most will not, because police departments do not want any contaminated files that are going to be wormholing their way into their system when somebody downloads it from, say, for example, the detective department. So therefore, they don't really allow uploads of any kind. So that means that when you file a police report, they're basically taking your word for it. So you could basically say, my information has been compromised and there's been identity theft, because whenever something's been compromised, it means that somebody's been stealing your information. Your information has been exposed and it's been stolen. So many of these multi-billion-dollar corporations will never admit to the fact of any fault on their part in wrongdoing as far as the breach, because they did not sustain any kind of proper security measures within their computer systems and databases. So they will never admit to that in a million years. So when they send you this seemingly innocuous email or physical piece of mail stating, oh, well, your information was breached, that's not a not big deal. That's not a nothing burger, okay? That basically means your information is out there now floating around in cyberspace because somebody either hacked into their system because they didn't have the proper security measures and protocol in place, or something else happened to where your information was just simply leaked. In which case it needs to be taken seriously as far as you being able to legitimately file a police report stating that your information has been breached. Okay? So that's the first step of this, the first critical step. So once you have that formal police report, then and only then should you start to dispute things on your personal credit reports. And so I recommend my new 609 verification dispute letter. You can get it at getdisputeletters.com, or you can get it at secretcreditletters.com, which is down below in the description box below this video. You can actually get the letter by going to those websites, and you can basically click on the button that says 609 letter, use that as your dispute letter, and you can basically send in a copy of your driver's license showing your current address, a copy of 2 utility bills showing your current address, a copy of your police report, and a copy of the 609 stating that, and you want to add an additional line in there too. So the 609 as it stands by itself is not going to be, it's not going to be enough. What you're going to have to do is state that your information has been compromised. You have a supporting documentation from your local police department showing your police report showing identity theft, and also here are the accounts you're disputing based on the information provided in the, from the police report showing your identity theft. So you can use the 609, and you could basically, like I said, add that line in there if you'd like, and basically say that you have been compromised. Now, over the years, there have been people out there that are like, oh, I have this secret system about, fixing your credit within a week or two, and I'm not going to share with you what it is, because it's unorthodox and it's my secret. Well, number one, it's not your secret because there's already other people using it, but they never want to share with anybody what that secret is. Well, I could share with you exactly what it is, okay? The quickest, fastest, and easiest way, most effective way to get things off of your credit that you don't want there, negative accounts, closed accounts, things that are showing negatively on your personal credit report, things that, if it's an open revolving account that you're continuing to pay on, that's something that you want to keep, then you're not going to dispute those accounts. It's mostly closed accounts, charge-off accounts, maybe a repossession, maybe a foreclosure, maybe, something that you definitely want to get off of your credit, maybe some kind of medical debt. And the key is it has to be a closed account. Even ideally, it's going to be, a collection agency account. But any closed account that's showing negatively, you want to dispute using this police report. So the secret that everybody doesn't want to talk about is this police report strategy. Whereas if you've had a data breach, a lot of people don't realize you can file a police report stating identity theft. We've all had data breaches, and you don't realize you can use this loophole, this backdoor strategy, to get things off your credit report. So once you get the police report, you can include it with your dispute letter, including your current ID and including your 2 utility bills. You want to send a trackable mail. They have 30 calendar days from the day after they receive it, and they have to take the stuff off. They don't have the ability to fight a police report. That is the big secret that everybody is, oh, I know this big secret. That's the big secret. The big secret is the police report, okay? And you might be thinking, well, Monica, maybe before I didn't have the opportunity or, legally the ability to file a police report because I didn't really have identity theft that I knew of. But you actually did have identity theft situations occur over the last several years, several times from these multi-billion-dollar company data breaches. That is considered identity theft. Your identity is out there somewhere on the dark web, and it could at any point in time result in negatives being put on your credit report. So your information is exposed, and yes, you can file a police report based on that without filing a fraudulent police report, because it is in fact true that this happened. It happens to all of this all the time. So you want to make sure that you get that police report done. It's going to be filed in your local area to your local yokel police department. 9 times out of 10, you can do it online without even talking to somebody at a desk. But if you're in one of these 2-horse towns where you have to actually walk in to file a police report, then go ahead and file it. Just go late at night. There's a desk sergeant there. He's usually probably pretty bored, and he's going to take the police report and just say that my personal information has been compromised, and I've had a situation with identity theft. And so he'll just write it up, and then it usually takes 2 or 3 days to get a formal police report going. And then you want the formal police report, and you want to basically put the formal police report in with your letter. And again, I always tell people over and over again, you definitely want to send these trackable mail. You don't have to send them certified because that's kind of pricey and you have to stand in line at the post office, but you do have to send a trackable mail to be able to tell when your 30-day time clock starts. But many times your stuff's going to fall off real fast because nobody can really fight identity theft. You have a claim from a police department stating identity theft, and then you have a list of accounts that are in question. Then they don't have a choice but to remove this stuff off, okay? So that is the secret backdoor method using the data breach strategy, which is you're going to essentially have to file a police report. Again, you can do it online with your local police department. And then you're going to send that police report in with your letter. And you're also going to send your utility bills, a copy of the utility bills and your current address ID in with that as well by way of trackable mail. And that's how you can get stuff off really, really fast off your credit reports. It's a cheat. It's a backdoor route, but it works, okay? It works like a charm. So if you like this information, give me a nice thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel, because it helps the channel out a lot to be able to continue providing you with amazing and awesome information. Also, you want to join my free school group, school.com/Monica Main. This is not going to remain free forever. So make sure that you get in before I start charging, because once you get in for free, you lock yourself in at the free rate forever. And it allows you to gain access to some free trainings to get your side hustle going, as well as some additional credit tips, as well as fraternizing with, I think, over 7,000 of you that are part of this group, because like minds that collect together start thinking in a more positive way, and it starts to elevate all of us together. So you definitely want to be a camaraderie together with other positive individuals just like yourself. So get into the group while you still can. This is Monica Main signing off, and I will see you in the next video.